Welcome back to More to the Story. I'm Lucas Kitchen, and this is episode 8 in a special podcast series we're calling The History of the Holy Land from Abraham to Hamas. And at this point in the story, we're much closer, historically speaking, to Hamas than to Abraham. We're getting close to the very modern era. We're going to explore the pivotal events leading to the establishment of Israel after World War II, highlighting the migration of the Jewish people to Palestine, politics and decisions therein, and military conflicts that were involved. We'll also discuss the consequential decisions and actions that resulted in the enduring Palestinian refugee crisis. So, let's get to it.
After the unspeakable horrors of World War II, the world's map was being redrawn, and amidst these changes, the Jewish people's hope for a homeland grew stronger.
Jewish survivors of the Holocaust, along with others, made the difficult journey to Palestine, a land that whispered the tales of their ancestors and promised a safe haven.
Meanwhile, the British mandate in Palestine was walking a tightrope, attempting to navigate the rising tensions in a land aspired to by both Jewish and Arab communities.
However, it was undeniable that the Jewish people, having faced centuries of persecution and recent atrocities during the war, urgently needed a refuge where they could rebuild their lives and preserve their unique culture and heritage.
The increasing immigration of Jews to Palestine and the dedicated efforts of these new arrivals to revitalize the land underscored not just their historical connection, but also a resolute commitment to making the desert bloom again.
With a backdrop of a world in flux, the stage was set for the establishment of Israel, an embodiment of hopes and a beacon for Jewish individuals worldwide seeking a place to call home.
In 1947, the United Nations made a monumental decision that would change the course of history. They voted to partition Palestine, paving the way for the establishment of a Jewish state.
This plan was seen as a beacon of hope for Jews around the world, offering a chance to establish a homeland where they could live freely and securely.
The UN also offered the same opportunity to the Arabs who lived in the land, but they refused to accept. The Jews, on the other hand, were eager to receive the chance of a new start in their ancestral home.
On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion officially declared the formation of the State of Israel, bringing to life the long-cherished dream of a safe and sovereign sanctuary for the Jewish people. The United States and the Soviet Union, two of the era's superpowers, swiftly recognized the new nation, lending their invaluable support.
The surrounding Arab nations did not share this enthusiasm. Rejecting the UN's partition plan, they refused to accept Israel's right to exist. The newly born State of Israel had to immediately defend its right to exist against those who sought to deny the Jewish people their homeland.
Before the war began, Arab leaders instructed Palestinians in the land to temporarily abandon their property so the coming Arab armies could more easily operate.
These Arab leaders promised an Arab victory and ensured that those who were being instructed to leave would be allowed to return and reclaim their property when the Jews were defeated. It's estimated that as many as 800,000 Palestinians left due to the coming war.
The 1948 Arab-Israeli War, often referred to as the War of Independence, or Milchemet Ha'atzmaut in Hebrew by Israelis, began on May 15, 1948, and would last until March 10, 1949.
The initial phase of conflict resembled a civil war within the borders of the former British Mandate of Palestine, with Jewish and Arab communities clashing fiercely.
The situation escalated dramatically when 5 neighboring Arab states, Egypt, Jordan, Iraq, Lebanon, and Syria, launched military interventions aiming to quash the fledgling Jewish state.
We'll be back in just a moment to hear the conclusion of this episode of the History of the Holy Land. But before we do that, this.
Eternal Life, Believed to be Alive by Lucas Kitchen is an easy-to-read book that brings clarity to the most important questions. Highly rated with 4.8 stars on Amazon, this insightful book is written in a straightforward manner. It helps readers understand how to receive this profound gift. Get your copy and begin your journey toward understanding eternal life. Available on Amazon.com or at freegrace.in.
Join us for the Free Grace Kids podcast. Dive into fun-filled adventures with characters like Gus the grumpy squirrel, Beulah the sweet-hearted buffalo, and Madam Melody the musical moose. Each short and hilarious episode offers valuable lessons from the Bible, ensuring kids not only listen but laugh along the way. Explore a world of joy, humor, and biblical wisdom. Find us and more delightful content for kids. Subscribe and listen at freegrace.in.
Previously, we left you on a cliffhanger with 5 Arab nations that surround Israel had just attacked. So, let's return to the narrative.
Highlighting this early conflict was the courageous Battle of Yehiam on March 27, 1948, where Dov Chessis and his contingent of 100 Palmach fighters valiantly defended a vital supply convoy against a considerably larger Arab Liberation Army.
Furthermore, the tenacious and resourceful Israeli forces also managed to ensure the provision of crucial supplies to a besieged Jerusalem through the ingenious opening of the Burma Road during the Battle of Latrun from May 25th to the 30th of 1948, despite facing a formidable Jordanian enemy.
Operation Hiram, executed in October of 1948, witnessed the Carmeli Brigade, under Moshe Carmel, capturing numerous villages in the vital Upper Galilee region within a remarkably rapid 60-hour campaign.
Operation Yoav, conducted that same month, exemplified Israeli prowess and acumen as forces successfully maneuvered against Egyptian troops to secure Beersheba and establish a pivotal territorial linkage in the southern Negev region.
In July, Israel established a vital corridor between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, capturing significant towns like Lydda and Ramleh. The war effectively ended in 1949, not with a formal peace treaty, but with a series of armistice agreements between Israel and its neighboring states, Egypt, Lebanon, Jordan, and Syria.
These agreements established the armistice lines, widely known as the Green Line, which generally rendered the newly formed state of Israel with larger territorial boundaries than those outlined in the initial 1947 UN partition plan.
Before the war began, Arab leaders, both local and regional, had urged Palestinians to vacate their homes and localities, making way for the advancing Arab armies with promises that, upon their anticipated victory, the Arab inhabitants could not only return to their own homes, but also claim the properties of the defeated Jews.
Radio broadcasts from neighboring Arab nations and directives from influential local figures told Palestinians to flee temporarily to facilitate a more unencumbered fighting front against the nascent Israeli state.
The unexpected defeat of the Arab armies turned what they had hoped would be a temporary evacuation into a lasting displacement.
An estimated 800,000 Palestinians were displaced due to their choice to leave. Israel viewed the Arabs' actions as a choice to abandon their properties, aligning themselves with the invading Arab armies.
Their properties became a part of the natural spoils of a war imposed upon Israel. In the context of international norms where wartime shifts in territory were not uncommon, these abandoned areas were perceived as legitimate gains, crucial for the stability and security of Israel amidst the hostilities.
Thus, the inability of Palestinian Arabs to return to their homes is seen as a reasonable consequence of a war that was initiated by the neighboring Arab states, with whom these displaced Palestinians had aligned.
The result was a massive Palestinian refugee crisis. The conflict between Israel and the Palestinians was fanned into an open flame, setting up the following generations of lives it would consume.
Thank you for listening to The History of the Holy Land from Abraham to Hamas, created by me, Lucas Kitchen, and produced by Free Grace International. For previous episodes, video or audio, or transcripts of this episode, you can go to freegrace.in. You can subscribe there to get weekly, daily, or even just occasional updates through email if you like. You can reach out to us through email, info@freegrace.in. Finally, I'd like to just ask simply, would you consider supporting our work here at Free Grace International? Everything we do is supported, if that's not redundant. We are run on the generous donations of listeners, viewers, and readers just like you. Thank you so much, and we look forward to being back with you sometime soon.